Friend, you've tried absolutely everything except the obvious, doing absolutely nothing at all. Jeff Foster. General suggestions before practicing restorative yoga. 1. Have all props to hand. Point 2. Wear loose, comfortable clothing. Point 3. Using a gentle meditation timer, sound can be useful in removing the uncertainty of how long to stay in a pose. Point 4. If possible, cultivate a warm, quiet, undisturbed space to practice. Point 5. Use a blanket to cover up with. To be asked to name my 3 favorite restorative poses was a difficult choice. After careful consideration, here are my top 3. Supported reclining pose. 4 bricks, 2 blocks, 5 blankets, 2 buckwheat bolsters. Supported reclining pose is one of the most popular of all restorative poses, and it's easy to feel why. With so many joints supported, the body can feel entirely weightless. In fact, many students like to rest in this one pose for the whole 90-minute class. I have heard it described as my favorite armchair, and others have said, if only I could take an international flight in this way. Although exceptional in its own right, it can make a great alternative to Savasana during the 3rd trimester of pregnancy or for those who have a tendency to fall asleep or feel vulnerable lying down on the floor. Tips: check there is no gap between the lower back and the bolster so that the whole spine is supported. Set the props up as symmetrically as possible so that the body feels balanced and equally held on both sides. The blanket as a head wrap in this version is a multifunctional gem. It's a night covering, a cozy warm hood and shield from external noise all in one. Viparita Karani. 5 blankets, 3 eye pillows, 1 belt, 2 buckwheat bolsters, 1 sandbag. This is my ultimate go-to pose to help alleviate stress, anxiety or exhaustion. Give it go and feel the stress melting away. Viparita Karani is an inversion, so has the potential to slow the heart rate and quieten the mind. It feels great for the lower back. Tips: ensure there is a slight arch in the lower back and that the tailbone hangs off the end of the bolster. If it feels too much of a back bend, the pose can be modified by using rolled blankets instead of a bolster. Secure the belt quite tightly around the legs and avoid the buckle against the skin. The belt holds the whole posture in place and adds great support. The more support, the greater the relaxation. I'd recommend child's pose as the perfect counter pose. Savasana. 4 sandbags, 6 blankets, 1 buckwheat bolster, 2 blocks, 3 eye pillows. Savasana is the most basic yet unsurpassable of all restorative yoga poses. It is accessible to nearly all and can be practiced as elaborately or simply as you like. It's hard to adequately verbalize the benefits of Savasana. It's only through the direct experience of the pose itself that will it give somebody an understanding and taste of the contented ease it can offer. In this particular version, I have used plenty of sandbags to demonstrate their use. The weight of the sandbags can feel comforting, encourage surrendering and can often give rise to a deep sense of peace and well-being. Tips: if setting up somebody else in the pose, start by supporting the head and neck first so that the person is comfortable while the rest of the setup takes place. If you're setting yourself up in the pose, start with the bolster underneath the knees, then the blanket underneath the ankles and finally support the head and neck with a blanket. Have an unfolded blanket at your feet ready to pull over the whole body. After 10 years of teaching yoga and amounting over 1,000 hours of teacher trainings, Jane has developed a particular love for restorative yoga. After personally discovering the transformational qualities of the practice, she now loves to share the importance of slowing down, deep rest and self-nurturing with her students. Jane teaches yoga internationally but loves living and working in central London, specializing in one-to-one classes and small intimate groups. For group classes, Jane can be found teaching restorative, yin, hatha yoga and meditation at Akasha Holistic Wellbeing Centre, Hotel Café Royal, London. She is an assistant to Judith Anson.